The Israel-Hezbollah front became the defining conflict of 2025, an onslaught that fused cutting-edge technology with brutal ground combat and reshaped the Middle East's security architecture. Israel's escalation began on March 12th, when F-35I Adir jets obliterated a Hezbollah command center in Beirut's southern suburbs, killing senior commander Ali Karaki and igniting a 9-month campaign codenamed Operation Northern Arrows. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu framed the strike as preemptive, citing intelligence that Hezbollah had amassed over 200,000 precision-guided rockets along the Blue Line, funneled through Syria by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Israeli cabinet approved a 3-phase plan: establish air superiority, conduct limited ground incursions, and carve out a buffer zone north of the Litani River. Hezbollah's Secretary General Naim Qassem countered from an underground bunker, promising a war of attrition that would drain Israel's economy and morale. The opening barrage came at dawn on March 13th, when Hezbollah unleashed 4,200 rockets in the first day alone. Israel's Iron Dome intercepted 91% of threats to populated areas, but the volume forced the evacuation of 80,000 civilians from Kiryat Shmona and Nahariya within 72 hours. Reserve Division 98, including the 7th Armored Brigade's Merkava Mark IV-M tanks, crossed the border near Avivim under thunderous M270 al-Ras barrages. Hezbollah's Radwan force had spent years honeycombing the border with tunnel complexes, complete with command rooms, medical bays, and rocket silos, detected only through Israeli ground-penetrating radar and thermal imaging drones. The first major clash erupted at Maroun al-Ras on March 18th, a 6-hour firefight that left both sides bloodied before Israeli paratroopers seized the hilltop. Satellite reconnaissance exposed Hezbollah's Bekaa Valley supply artery, prompting Israel's Operation Grapes of Wrath 2.0, an air campaign that severed 14 major highways and collapsed bridges across the Litani. The Lebanese army, controlling less than 30% of its own territory, stood aside as Beirut's port became the sole humanitarian lifeline. Israeli naval commandos raided the facility on April 22nd, destroying a grain shipment concealing Fateh 110 missiles. The UN Security Council's Resolution 2701 demanding ceasefire went ignored. Hezbollah escalated on May 5th with Birken rockets, 500-kilogram warheads that torched Haifa's refineries for 3 days, inflicting $2.3 billion in damage. Israel retaliated by penetrating Syrian airspace to obliterate IRGC headquarters in Aleppo, killing General Hossein Salami's deputy and 23 officers. Lebanon's economy imploded. The pound lost 95% of its value, power outages stretched to 22 hours daily, and hospitals ran on smuggled fuel. Hezbollah retained political leverage through its social services, but even loyal Shia communities began questioning the human toll. By June 1st, Israeli forces reached the Litani, erecting 22 outposts ringed by trophy-active protection systems. Hezbollah pivoted to guerrilla warfare, AM-50 sniper rifles, explosively formed penetrators, and $2,000 explosive drones that shredded million-dollar radar arrays. The cost-benefit calculus favored the defenders in every asymmetric engagement. The United States deployed the USS Gerald R. Ford carrier group, flying 180 sorties, while diplomats in Cyprus negotiated a 40,000-ton aid corridor. Iran activated its proxy web. Houthis fired ballistic missiles at Eilat. Iraqi militias struck U.S. bases in Syria, stretching Israeli intelligence to breaking. Bent Jbeil became the campaign's Stalingrad, 11 days of room-to-room urban combat inside medieval alleys, costing 89 Israeli lives and over 400 Hezbollah fighters. Israel debuted the AI-driven Carmel armored vehicle, slashing friendly fire incidents by 60%, while Hezbollah's Ababil 3 drone swarms forced a 40-to-1 loss ratio in the skies. Cyber warfare rewrote the rules. Unit 8200 spoofed GPS signals, causing rockets to splash harmlessly into fields. Hezbollah blacked out Tel Aviv for 4 hours on July 12th. Media warfare raged in parallel. Al Jazeera live-streamed Beirut's rubble, CNN embedded with IDF patrols, and deep-fake videos muddied reality. Lebanon's Christian and Druze communities armed themselves, forging secret pacts to prevent sectarian spillover. August heat turned the Bekaa into an oven. Israeli convoys hauled ice for medical stores, while Hezbollah fighters collapsed from heat stroke in unventilated tunnels. Mossad intelligence revealed Iran green-lighting nuclear breakout under war's cover. Israel's Arrow 3 intercepted a test missile over the Persian Gulf, spiking fears of atomic escalation. Omani backchannels produced a draft framework. Hezbollah retreat 30 kilometers, Israel retain hot pursuit rights, Gaza linkage tabled. The turning point arrived August 3rd when special forces raided a Tyre villa, capturing Hezbollah's southern commander and pinpointing 400 medium-range missiles, 85% destroyed in 48 hours. Desertions tripled, raw recruits surrendered on first contact. Operation Litani Shield launched September 15th with 30,000 troops advancing on Beirut's suburbs along 3 axes. Hezbollah's desperate airport road defense claimed 14 vehicles with Cornet missiles, but Apache gunships with spike munitions shattered strongpoints. Global pressure peaked at the G20. Qatar brokered the Doha Agreement on October 1st. Hezbollah withdrawal, 15,000 UNIFIL peacekeepers, demilitarization south of the Litani. The butcher's bill was apocalyptic, 12,000 Lebanese dead, 45,000 wounded, 28 billion of infrastructure ruin. Israel mourned 1,200 soldiers and 180 civilians, 1.8 million displaced across both nations. Hezbollah's arsenal shrank to under 40,000 projectiles, yet retained sheer political dominance. Iran suffered strategic defeat, but advanced its nuclear clock. Israel secured tactical objectives at the price of strategic ambiguity. Border towns stood empty, residents refusing return despite guarantees. The war birthed new doctrines: AI battlefield management, drone swarms as force multipliers, cyber as a primary theater. Ground troops remained indispensable for holding dirt. Urban combat favored locals who knew every alley. Intelligence preparation eclipsed raw firepower. Lebanon's institutions require total reconstruction. Sectarian fault lines simmer. Private military firms now guard both governments, eroding sovereignty. The conflict's graduates teach at war colleges worldwide. How machines outthink generals, how civilians stream their own annihilation, how narrative rivals terrain as the ultimate high ground. The onslaught achieved its military aims, yet left victory's meaning elusive. Security bought with instability, deterrence forged in devastation. The Middle East enters an era where code precedes missiles, where borders dissolve into bandwidth, where the next war begins in silicon before steel ever flies.